all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How are you feeling today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. I just wanted to come in and talk about why it's shameful for women to keep a man. What I've been noticing for the past year or so. I've been noticing across social media, anytime women were talking about keeping a relationship together or keeping their men or whatever the case may be, keeping a marriage, whatever the case. It's always a deflection from women in whatever comment section, be it Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. I've come across it increasingly. One of the first things that they do is to go to this extreme thing where they talk about, well, you're doing anything to keep a man. No one wants a relationship with somebody and they going through whatever, all to say that they are keeping a man. One thing that I noticed, that I know a lot of people have noticed, is that hyenas, the things that hyenas say are usually 9 times out of 10, they are projections. When hyenas start talking about what other people are doing, what another person, is putting up with, or another group of people, usually they're talking about themselves and they project off onto whatever group or demographic or subgroup that they feel like is doing better than them in a particular sense. So the shaming of women keeping their relationships together is a projection, and it is aimed at the so-called pick-me women, the so-called women that are doing anything to keep, quote unquote, a man. Thank you so much, Ro, for your super stick. I appreciate you, sweetheart. So they will project things. Now, let's talk about this pick-me thing, because I think that hyenas changed the definition of that as they go. I don't know if anybody recognizes that. They sort of changed the definition of that, because one moment a pick-me is any woman that's feminine. Any woman, it really was used at one point to describe women who did not have toxic relationships with Black men, that didn't have these hate-filled, contempt-filled interactions and relationships with men. They didn't have this overwhelming trauma when it came to men and relationships. And so therefore, these women had decent and normal interactions and relationships with men. So that because there wasn't that relationship trauma, and women get shamed, specifically Black women get shamed for not having the horror story connected to their relationship. When women get together and they talk about their relationships, it's a horror story gathering. They don't get together to talk about how good their men are to them, even if they have a good man that is good to them. They talk about, even if they can't say he's cheating or he's beating on them or blah, 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 they'll talk about all of his negative qualities, all of the things that they don't like about him. Girl, he was doing this. Girl, he got on my nerve because he did that. Girl, we got into it because blah, 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 blah. And if you are a woman in a group like that and you don't have any horror story because nothing is going on in your relationship that's negative, you get kind of a side eye. They will, if they can, try to grill you about your relationship and have you to find something that is negative to share with them. So in every area, women, particularly Black women, are made fun of, made shamed to have a good outlook or a positive outlook on their relationships with men. So if you have a good marriage, you really can't say that. You can't say that in a group of women. You can't say that in a group of women. You can't be the woman in a group that, as they trade horror stories, you don't have one, and in point of fact, you start talking good about your husband. Oh, baby, you're gonna get roasted. You're gonna get talked about. And that is one of the main downfalls of our community as a group of women. We gonna shame one another. If you have a relationship that you are doing your part to keep intact, and you are doing your part to make sure that the relationship is stable and it is good and it is positive and that you're getting what you need out of it and he getting what he need out of it, don't let you sit there and talk about what you do for him. If you do happen to talk about how good your relationship is, it has to be on the basis of you talk about all the stuff that he do to you or for you. So you got to talk about how he wait on you hand and foot, how he buy you, and you've got to say it in a way to where it make it seem as if you're controlling it and he's doing stuff for you because you've got him in check. And I think I might speak on it from a different way, because shout out to Pink Book Lessons. I was watching a video of hers maybe last week that she did on PJ Washington. Poor PJ, I don't feel sorry for him. He gonna get worse than Brittany. He done got in worse. If, believe it or not, he done got in worse with than Brittany Renner. That one he married to now, and he done had a baby with her, and done married her. Pink Book had a video. I guess it was from the girl, her live stream, her Instagram live or something like that, where it was her and PJ on the stream, and the way she was talking to him, I run you. Tell everybody I run you. Tell everybody I wear the pants. Tell everybody I'm gonna do a commentary on that. That might even be another live stream, because the way that hyena was talking to him, this is common. Now, the reason why I bring her up is because you gotta prove to the sisterhood that you run him, that you run your man. So if you talk to them and you tell them that your man is good to you, you gotta frame it in a way as to where you're puppet mastering him. Are y'all familiar with what I'm talking about? You gotta say it. This is how women get roped into these sisterhood gatherings and trying to fit in. Ladies, stop trying to fit in with your hyena friends and hyena family members and hyena gatherings. You don't gotta fit in with them. You don't gotta try to front your man off like you control him and you run him and this, that, and the third, and he doing stuff for you because he better had and all that kind of stuff. No, you can't say that your husband is good to you because he want to be good to you. And you certainly can't say that your husband is good to you because you're good to him. That you can't say. As a female, particularly among Black women, you cannot be the woman that says or that alludes to or that tells people that you do stuff for him in that relationship, that you are in any way reciprocal of good treatment and good behaviors within your relationship. This is one of the greatest downfalls. Black women make that a scarlet letter to say that you are having a healthy relationship with a man and you're not having no trauma, and he do stuff for you that you like and you do stuff for him that he like. Some kind of way you've got to justify, some kind of way you have to make it seem as if you're not really doing anything in this relationship and he do everything for you. You've got to tell the other sisterhood members that he's your slave, not your husband. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Thank you, Key said, Black women don't relinquish feminism. Their relationship chances will be like the dinosaurs, extinct. This is facts. Thank you, Terenzo. So, of course, they changed definitions. Definition. That's why I taught myself etymology and neurolinguistic programming, NLP, including psychology. Now I see through them. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Dale, for your contribution as well. You're going to get a special song. You and Steve. And thank you once again to Renzo said, by the way, horror stories are sacred horror stories passed down through generations. These people are telling horror stories. It's in the sound of horror versus horror. Thank you once again so much, sweetheart. Here, let me do this. Give me 2 seconds. Because I don't like to do it at the beginning of the show. But maybe I might start. Thank you, Pharaoh. Said Lori Harvey had Sisterhood New York party without paint. That's horrible. Without paint. You know what? I'm so done with her. I don't know what to do. I posted the link because if you recall, this is also a call-in show. And for any woman that wants to discuss either why it's shameful to keep a man or what you have done to keep yours, we would love to hear about it. The link is pinned to the top. But we're going to keep going because I think that this is a subject that we need to truly discuss among women. Why is it that we can't say anything good? It has been so ingrained in us as a group of women that we gotta talk bad, that we gotta talk bad about our men, even including and especially almost the men that we are in relationships with. We gotta talk bad about the men. We gotta try to tell people how we're either dominating over that man, or we gotta try to tell people we gotta try to denigrate or degrade or downplay the health of our relationships. And the only things that are acceptable for us is to talk negatively about it. We will get cheered on. We will get cheered on from all the rafters of women whenever we come out and we talk about how a man done did us dirty, how he cheated, how he, had a sneaky link, how he had a baby on us, how he, beat us, or how just the whole Kiki Palmer thing. She done just came out. I'm gonna speak on that at another time as well, more in depth. But she done came out talking about Darius beats her. And he been beating on her. That's not to say that there is no such thing as a domestic violent situation. I'm not saying ain't no such thing. I'm not saying ain't nobody going through that. Somebody's going through it at some point. My thing is this. If that dude been putting hands on you, what you have a baby with him for? Why would you have a baby with that man? The baby is only 8 months old. So why was you with him long enough to have a baby? And I'm sorry, that man just do not look like the type of man that's putting his hands on you. He just don't seem like that type of guy. The way that dude was falling up behind her with the baby, walking behind, that's not the demeanor of a dude that's putting his hands on you. Because typically a man that's putting his hands on you like that, first of all, he ain't coming out of the blue with that. That's been going on since the early stages of the relationship. He started that mess in the beginning. He started that mess in the beginning. And it has done nothing but escalate. The longer you with them dudes, the more they do. Other forms of abuse go along with that. Other forms of control go along with it. And you didn't seem, and if you're going to be in a relationship where you are having hands put on you and you didn't immediately leave, that means that you kind of scared of him. You didn't seem scared when you was shaking your cheeks at Usher. You didn't seem scared. You didn't seem leery of him when you was fronting him off on the gram. That you didn't seem leery of that dude. You didn't seem like you was scared to go home after talking all that mess. Because she did a lot. But I'm getting off the subject. Because I know why she's doing it. I know why she's saying that. It's a reason she's saying that about him. But we can't, but the reason I brought it up in the first place is because now she's going to get really cheered on. First, she was being cheered on for being a back foot. Now she's going to get super cheered on for painting that guy as a monster now. Because you gotta talk bad. You gotta talk bad about the man that you're with. You gotta talk bad about that relationship, even if it's going good. This is how a lot of y'all play yourselves out of the relationships that you're in, because you'll get in front of people and you will start fronting your man off. Start acting like you run him. You'll start acting like he can't tell you what to do when he definitely can tell you what to do. And that works for y'all relationship. And but you don't be wanting it. You don't want other members of the so-called sisterhood to know that you're not a hyena, that you actually don't operate like a hyena in your relationship. But the trick in the trap is that if you front in public like you are a hyena that do hyena things in your relationship, and he keeps getting wind of that, or he's around when you try to front him off, that's problematic for you. Because he's going to be like, wait a minute, so is this what you really think about your relationship? Is that what it really is? Are you really telling people that you run me when you know that's not true? Are you trying to tell people that you've got control in this relationship and you don't? Basically, you're emasculating me in front of like your family. Like you'll get in front of your sisters and you'll get in front of your mama and act like I'm not the man in this relationship, or act like I don't do my duties as a husband. Are you really going to act that way? Because if that's how you actually feel, then we can call this quits. That's how you trick yourself. That's how you trick yourself out of a good relationship. Trying to play like it's bad. The other part that's wrong with that is, as long as you talk it into existence, it will come into existence. If you tell everybody that your relationship is bad when it's not, it will turn bad. Women definitely can talk themselves into negative thinking when it comes to their relationships. You'll go home and be feeling away about some stuff that you made up about your relationship. I see the people in the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on a real quick commercial break. We'll come back and we'll take the call. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, my Crimsonites and all of my supporters. I invite you to go and get your copy of my new book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. This is guaranteed to change your perspective and positively impact your life. So go ahead now to crimsoncure.com and get your copy today.
So I don't know how many likes I need, but I know I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta So go ahead, hit the like button. Go ahead to crimsoncure.com. Pick up your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. Let me get to these super chats, and then we're going to get to the callers in the back. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely, for your super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you, Pharaoh. Said there are too many horrible cases in the United States. BW teacher plays WAP music to get the class attention. Countless child deletions by American BWs, and BW Mayor steals money from Chicago. Yeah, it's a lot going on, and so much stuff be going on. I can't cover it all. But that's definitely true. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start taking calls. I'm gonna bring up Miss Regina.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing, Miss Regina?
I am under the weather. Las Vegas is such bipolar. It's cold and hot. But as far as
Really?
yes,
Now, see, I wouldn't have guessed that from Las Vegas at all.
it's actually it gets cold and it's a dry cold. So and then on top of the wind, it makes it 10 times worse.
Now, what's cold? What's the temperature for cold? What's y'all coldest that you'll get?
44.
Okay, okay. That's decently cold. That's
But
decently cold.
but when the wind adds, it can get it like to 50 like per speed of wind. Like I work at a hotel and the wind will be so strong the doors will fly open.
Mm.
And
Oh,
they're
okay.
thick glass doors. So yeah, we tornado weather. Ugh.
Oh man, now see, at one point I was thinking about moving to Las Vegas. I'm like, ooh, it's warm. It ain't gonna be no bad winter because I'm from Chicago, so I'm like, it can't be like Chicago.
Well, we don't get snow. How well the mountains get snow, but in the city of Las Vegas, we don't get that much snow.
Okay.
We don't
Oh,
get that
okay.
much snow, but yeah, it can get pretty cold.
Okay, and I can see the wind too because y'all don't have like big tall skyscrapers to kind of block that
Not
wind.
really, only
Yeah,
down at the strip. But other than
yeah,
that, pretty much it's just
flat.
standard buildings.
Hmm. So what we got today, Miss Regina? What we gonna talk about?
Honestly, with the sisterhood, as far as with getting a man, etc., I guess it's pride and ego. But to be honest, they say that, but then on the other hand, you're with Pookies and Rayways doing wifely duties. That's my man. I don't got into arguments with friends that I know for years. One friend in particular, I had a falling out with, and our friendship has not been the same because she was with her ex now, I guess, and she cussed me out on my birthday about how he's changed, you guys are living in the past. And then a year later you talked about how not too long after that you guys got in a fight.
Mm. And this was your friend of how long?
We known each other since high school sophomore year, so almost 8 years. 8,
Mm.
9, 10 years.
Mm. Now, Miss Regina, are you married or in a relationship at this point?
I am, no, I'm single. I'm 26 years old. Pandemic kind of bit me in the ass, but honestly, I was so gynocratic. I wasn't that bad, but I had so much of a lot of talking points. You won't hit me in between the legs a few times with certain topics, and not in a bad way, but it was just like, oh, damn. Yeah,
Mm.
that's me.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you because had I not met my mentor, I wouldn't have known about you and many other podcasters where, yeah, we do have a problem. Black women, you do have a problem.
I'm glad that you were able to at least have some self-awareness. I think a lot of our young women lack that self-awareness and just not being able to see where they may have made some mistakes or where their mindset may not be the best and may not be leading them to the best place. So I'm actually glad that you're still a young woman but you're having this time where you're sort of self-reflecting. Do you have children?
No.
No children. Single, 26. Somebody get on it. Are you looking?
And not really, because I know I'm still have a lot of personal growth to go to and a lot of things that I got to clean up to get ready for a man. I came a long way, but there's still little things like I didn't know my grandmother is an OG gynocrat. She's married, but she can't wait for my grandfather to pass away so she can be up in the streets and get a new man, etc. And it's like, really?
Oh yeah, it ain't no new men out here. Grandma need to slow down. It ain't nothing out here.
And I exactly, and I didn't realize, and the family would say how, oh my God, you got so much alike, but I didn't see it until later on, where I'm like, oh hell, I've
Mm,
been doing so much of the things that my grandmother would do, and not have the self awareness. But to be honest, it's like for my family, what did y'all expect? This woman I'm growing up with that y'all know is crazy, that y'all know acts a fool. What did y'all expect? And I'm a child. Well,
mm.
because she would watch me when my mom went to school, etc. What did y'all expect?
Yeah, exactly. When did you start to recognize that there were some things that you needed to work on?
I was 23 years old, just turned 23, and that was when the pandemic happened, where I thought, okay, do it on my own, be a go getter, get your money right, get a better life for yourself. And I realized this ish is for the birds. And I'm like, I need a better quality life. Working hard for these companies is not it, but I don't know where to go. And irony, I met my mentor, Nature. Because me and a friend were walking around the park and he was training a boxer, and we started working out with him. That was when I automatically stopped eating bad. That's when I stopped. Just cut it out because that's been my biggest problem with food. I'm an emotional eater, and I'm like, ooh, takeout queen. And when I met him, I stopped it. I
Mm,
worked out, got myself healthy. He actually pointed me to your channel, and I'm like, wow, I see a whole different perspective in life. So I can't even thank you enough.
you
Good
will.
Lord knows where I would be. Good Lord knows where I would be if I didn't have women like you, Danica, and even Jason Black to really talk about the reality and give people the real. This ain't where you need to go, baby. Look at the ones before you.
I'm glad. I'm glad that anything that I've been saying or doing has had any positive effect on you and any other young lady out there, because that's truly why I do it. It may sound, I know I come off rough sometimes, and I know I'm hitting people where they live, but you got to hit people kind of where they live, and hopefully it kind of shakes them and makes them step back and take a little bit of a look and say, wait a minute, is that me? And that doesn't sound good, or it doesn't look good when the mirror is facing me. Like, I don't necessarily like that. I thought it was okay, but it's not quite okay. I'm happy, Miss Regina, and I'm rooting for you, and I'm praying for you, sweetheart, on your journey, because it
Thank you,
can be tough,
Kendra.
but there is a light at the end of the tunnel when you're doing that level of self-work and trying to get yourself together and get yourself prepared. And it doesn't necessarily take as long as you might think either. As long as you keep yourself focused, utilize the 10 life values to do so. Are you familiar with it? Have you been here
Yeah,
long enough to know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
watched you from your olden days where you had the lions running
Okay.
in the background.
Okay. 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 So you know what I'm talking about. So keep yourself focused using that as a guideline to try to keep yourself focused on the things that you need to do. And as you move through that journey, different things on that list will become more important than other things. And as you just move through that, just pay attention to those things. I'm rooting for you. You're going to get a husband. You're going to get all of the things that you want and
Thank you.
that you need in this life. And I am definitely praying and rooting for you, sweetheart.
Thank you. And keep doing what you're doing. I know it's hard at times, Kendra, but trust me, younger girls, and I would also like to say for people who think that, oh my God, it's hopeless. No, the younger generation hears a lot of, like, although I have a couple bad friends, I also have other people, they know. They know about the people are not stupid. They know about the whole life. And if they want to do it, then fine, let them. But fix the people who actually don't like it. They're actually still younger people, although it's a small amount, they're still younger people who are not trying to be about the whole life, who are not trying to be about the ratchetness and the foolishness. They're actually even older people, but especially young people, like, because I know we get talked about a lot. Like, no, there are a lot of younger people who don't want to be about the foolishness. We didn't have no guidance, we didn't have no leadership, and we're trying to learn. And women like you do help us tremendously. And I do get racially profiled, but I also get nice treatment in just everyday life. When I catch the bus, some men will like let me go first. I'm like, oh, thank you, or open up the door for me, etc. So there's hope as long as you don't act right. And yes, we're working on ourselves. Younger girls like me are still out there. So yes, you can find a wife. It's going to be hard, sadly.
It
Be
will
smart
be.
about it. I will say that.
But luckily, you only need one.
Right.
You only need one. And hopefully, only one time.
Yes. And congratulations on your marriage.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Miss Regina. Thank you for coming and stopping through and talking to us and giving some of your time and
You're
giving us some of your
welcome.
attention, sweetheart. I am so glad you came through.
And I'm so glad you have this channel. It really does help us.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. You have a good rest of your day,
Thank
beloved.
you. Bye.
Bye bye, sweetie. All right. See, I'm glad to talk to young ladies. I'm glad to talk to the young ladies. Because that's who I'm really gearing this stuff towards. I love my young sisters, especially young sisters like her that are like, wait a minute, because we grow up in hyena clans. We grow up in hyena clans. So when I'm talking about hyenas, I'm talking about somebody's mama, somebody's sister, somebody. I'm talking about they used to be us and all that type of stuff. So, you know, it's wonderful to hear young ladies say, you know what, it made me stop in my tracks and I listened and I'm doing some self-reflection and I'm doing some work because the work is beautiful. There's a beautiful conclusion when you do your work. I see my guy. How you doing, Chana? How you doing, sweetheart?
Can you hear me?
You very low.
Oh, can you hear me?
You need to get closer to a microphone because
Oh
I can
man,
hear you but barely.
I'm trying to do this through my phone. I'm gonna have to get a Bluetooth. I'm gonna have to.
Your
I'm gonna,
stream yards don't like phones.
oh man, you know what? When I
Can
when I
y'all
get
hear
my
him? Because he's really low.
oh yeah, if they can't hear me, that means I have to project very loud, and that's not gonna go well in my house. So, you know
Yeah.
what? I'll call back next week, and we'll have a better conversation.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Because you be on point in the chat room.
Oh, you already know. I'll talk to you later. All right.
All right, sweetheart.
All right. Bye.
How you doing, Elijah? Can you hear me?
Hey, love.
How you doing?
What's going on, beautiful black sister?
Hey, it's nothing much going on. Just trying to have this call-in show. Miss Regina put a smile on my face today. So
She put
what
a
we got today, Elijah?
she put a smile on my face too.
The sweetheart. She a sweetheart.
Thank you for I gotta thank you and God for you having the best show not on YouTube but the best show in the world. Thank you so much.
You welcome. I appreciate that. I try. I do my best.
But but you do us wrong though.
How do you wrong?
We need to see your beautiful husband.
Oh, you need to see Unc again.
Yeah, all that wisdom that he got. That 5 minutes he was on, he had me running for pen and paper.
Okay. We definitely gonna have more of Unc. There's more to come. I've been the honest truth about it is that um what I've been doing for the last few years, but it's not only time to sort of revamp what's going on the channel, but also expand the type of help that I'm able to give to people.
Right,
And that's gonna be like in the form of new types of content. It takes a little minute. It actually takes a little while to get certain things off the ground just because of logistics and all of the stuff that goes on in the background
right,
before a show can be brought, because I'm not only just working on a show with me and Unc, like Unc and Auntie, because that's really a thing that we really gonna do,
right,
but also a school. So the creation of a curriculum and a way to bring it to the public so that people can actually benefit from what we've been doing and in an applied way, because it's one thing to come here and have a show and have everybody entertained, edutained, as
right,
I call it, and then there's another thing where people can apply
right,
what is being said here, because my aim is for people to be able to apply the knowledge to their personal life
right,
in whatever way they need to apply it to their personal life, so that people can be helped and not just center it here on YouTube just to be edutained for an hour and then you just go about your business. I want people to not only take something away from this platform in the form of consuming a video, but also after everything is shut off, where can they go and what do they have? What resource do they have to continue to grow in their own personal life? So that kind of takes more doing than I anticipated, I think,
take
in the
take
beginning, but we
yeah, you gon'
definitely going to, God willing, bring it to fruition.
you gonna set up some takeaways so people can have some takeaways.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna help you. I'm a psychologist and I have a publishing company, so I'm a
Oh,
I'm
okay.
yeah, yeah, I'm a help you.
Well, I tell you what, somebody post my email in the chat. Email me, and then we will, get together in the
Okay.
production room and see what we can come up with. Because if you have a publishing company, that's actually would be actually rather helpful to me, because I intend on writing more than this book that I have.
Right.
Kind of want to do a follow up
Yeah.
and publish it as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely thank you for extending your help.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. But on the subject today about black females, can you restate it?
Oh, I was just wondering why keeping a man, or the concept of keeping a man, is actually shameful
Right.
to women.
Right.
And if I was talking to ladies, I wanted them to tell me either that or what they've done to maintain a relationship, because I find that to be an interesting and a sad case
Right.
among our women. We gotta denigrate our relationships. We can't
Right.
speak good about them, and that's problematic.
See, having a black man for females is shameful. And you actually, I heard you actually give this answer like months ago. And the answer is black females, they don't even well, actually you even gave the answer in your opening of this show. And the main answer is black females don't even pick their own mates. They wear these ugly weaves and these ugly nails and these ugly eyelashes to please their girlfriends. And it's their girlfriends that pick their mates. They don't even pick their own mates. When they look at a male, they look at that male through the eyes of, would my girlfriends approve of him? Would my girlfriends like him? What would my girlfriends say about him? What would my homegirls think? You see? And that's why they got what you gave the best term for it. They wear that Magic City costume.
Shout out to Pink Book
Yeah,
for that terminology.
yeah, they got these ugly weaves and ugly nails and ugly eyelashes on, not because it's what black males want. It's because that's what their girlfriends want, and their girlfriends get it from the uh the devil's media. And this is why, see, 65% of black females are laying down with other females.
And I find that to be problematic, although unfortunately, I'm not very surprised by that little statistic.
Right,
Um, that's nasty.
right,
I'm just gonna say that. I'm sorry if that's offensive to somebody. I just find that to not be a good thing. I think it really come from, and I guess it's. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let Miss Chana come up. Um, Feminism has long been tied intrinsically to the rainbow
right.
community,
Teach,
and I don't know if our women understood that before they hitched their wagon to it.
teach.
But when women's lib came up, that was the main thing. They were saying that they was rainbow,
Right,
and that's why they didn't want men, and we're better than men, and then they were better off together with each other, even sexually.
right,
And when our women uh, gravitated towards that and hitched their wagon to that horse, that that propaganda ramped up so exponentially
yeah,
until now what we have is just a celebration of rainbow. Black men are not celebrated unless they are effeminate or unless they are part of the rainbow community.
it put
Black
feminine.
men are not spoken positively about unless they are lacking in their masculinity or they are not heterosexual, whatever label that they want to put onto that.
Right,
So this is why when I talk about one, inadvertently you end up talking about the other one, even though there's so much censorship that goes on when you talk about the rainbow crew. But that's why I touch on that. That's why there was such a big dust up with the tea parties. Remember when Jess Hilarious had that whole back and forth, and that was where that dust up came from. The support of them had been going on so long. Of course they felt a certain way.
yes, ma'am. It put feminism on steroids.
Exactly.
Right.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Miss Chana come up.
I can't stay on the panel.
But I'm not really hosting a panel.
Oh, we need panels, sweetie. Let's do panels.
All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Miss Chana come up and we'll talk to her for a little bit. But thank you so much, Elijah, for giving us some time.
Thank you, sister.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Miss Chana.
Hello, Miss Crimson, Miss Kendra. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, sweetheart. How you feel?
I'm doing all right. I cannot complain. I won't complain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Don't do no good no way.
it don't do no good, but everything is good. I'm glad to be on here. I caught one of your shows. I said, let me see if I can catch one of her own call shows today, and I was able to do it. And I'm happy to be here. And I have some good news because I want to let you know we've been trying to get your book for my book club and stuff, and I was told today that your books are restocked, so we gonna be getting those books soon for my little group. So
Oh, okay, no problem. I'll be looking forward to the order. Yeah, because I get them restocked because I ordered them. I have them printed at a printing company, a publishing company. And after so long, once the inventory gets low, I have to go and sort of reorder that book. And then they have to take the time to print the book before they send it to me. So it's kind of a print on demand. So every once I try not to run out before I reorder. And this last time I got caught up. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. I done ran out of the books and I had to reorder. But we got a full stock now. So you can go ahead and make your order and then they'll be sent out ASAP.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. But yeah, I love the topic. While you be on it, Kendra, I want to say the topic that you have, I was missing some because I was working. Why keeping a man is shameful to modern women. You were talking about the pick me statement earlier. That's where I was left off at. And that's the term that I'm called a lot. And although, for pick-me's for men, they like that. But unfortunately for the women, it's like, if you are not, like you call them the hyenas, if you're not on the hyenas code, if you're not in agreement with the hyena, if you're not saying what they say, looking the way they look, behaving the way they behave, talking the way they talk, you're not going to be accepted. Okay. They don't want to hear it. So I'm a pick-me. I'm a pick me because I care about the value of our men. I care about what their preferences are. I care about how they feel. I care about that they're just merely men and that they do exist and they are real people.
Definitely. And I think their humanity gets lost in a lot of the rhetoric that we've been taught to say and to think in regards to them. May I ask, Miss Chana, are you married?
I am not. I'm being vetted right now.
That's good news. May I ask how old you are, sweetheart?
I'm 47.
You better get it then.
Yeah, I'm 47, but I'm forever 27, 26. I got that good bloodline. I got that good, fountain of youth in my family. So, everybody think I'm about 20 years younger or something. But
yeah, the genetics be good because if your avatar is telling a story, it is not telling the story of a Gen X girl. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing when we take care of ourselves. We be looking young, baby. The age we surprise people with that age. So you saying you being vetted, that's good.
Yes.
How long have you been being courted?
I would say now we're going on a year. We're just making it, transitioning to the next stage. So I'm happy about that.
You feel good about this?
Yes.
Feel real positive about it?
I feel real great. Good.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Give us a couple of things you do to keep your relationship stable and healthy and moving in the right direction.
Communication.
Okay. That's a good one.
Communication. I love to be sure that that man is being respected at all costs. And that I come with the peace, and my femininity is intact. I make sure that I'm concerned not just about myself, but I am concerned about the person whom I'm, dealing with. I take it very seriously. I don't know. It's a beautiful thing dealing with a brother. It's a beautiful thing dealing with a Black man. And it's just sad that the way we treat them and the way we disregard them. I had a father, so they are very near and dear to my heart, So the things that I try to do in relationships with that Black man is treat him as if I was treating my father, with respect, recognizing his authority, communicating effectively, being critical in my thinking, and not allowing my emotions to take over. I think a lot of women who did have some kind of authority figure in their lives do come with some level of logic, and facts over feelings. So I try to do that the best way I can, if that makes any sense.
It definitely makes sense. And I thank you for saying that, because it's extremely important. Now, I'm going to ask you one more question. Have
Yes.
you ever been married before?
I have not been married before. No.
Well, then hopefully you'll enjoy this. If you get married to whoever the lucky sir is, then hopefully you will enjoy marriage. It's work, but it's good work. I'm
Yeah.
here to tell you that now. It's work, but it's good work. It is work.
Mm-hmm.
There would not be a moment of rest, but it's good work. And when you do see the fruition of all of that work coming through and shining through in the form of a healthy, stable relationship, that's what's going to give you peace of mind and peace of heart
I
and
believe
contentment.
I believe that. I also believe too, Kendra, is that if we should hope to be anything, one thing my father used to tell me is that practice makes perfect. So that tells me that I can be something before I get in the position to do it. So what I believe is that, you need to be a wife before you get asked to be a man's wife. You need to have the behavior and the mindset and understand the assignment, understand the natural order, understand who you are as a woman, and what we do, what your role is, what your purpose is. I don't think that I think we've gotten too far away from that. And that's the reason why I think that we feel so ashamed with even keeping the man. I mean, we come from backgrounds where you have women telling girls at young ages when they were dating, don't you make no man no plate. Let him make his own plate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you buy no man no shoes. If you buy a man the shoes, he gonna walk out on you. I mean, all of these negative connotations and things that I know that Big Mama and them, thankfully not my grandmama and them, but I've seen it happen in other households where women are taught not to serve men, not to honor men, not to respect men. I can't do that.
Exactly.
I
No,
can't.
I can't do it.
It's disrespectful, not just to myself, but it's also disrespectful to the Most High. Because I believe that the man is the image and the breath, the walking image of the Most High. And I can't do that. It's embarrassing, Kendra. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's hurtful. Uh, and it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. So I just cannot uh roll with the being ashamed to serve, you know, being ashamed to serve our men, whether it be our boys, our sons, our male cousins, fathers, whatever it may be. I mean, I try to give love to all of them, whether they on the street corner or whether they in the penthouse. I
Mm-hmm.
respect them all the same because, I think that we forget that they look down on us to pull us up a lot of times. I mean, the same ones that saying, "Oh, he broke," you broke too. You got top ramen in your refrigerator in your cabinet,
Right now.
right?
And you'll scorch the water that you're boiling in because you know how to make it.
Because you on your phone ain't paying attention to cooking.
Exactly.
And so all of the names, all of us tearing down one another about our men, it's like, I mean, can't you do that? Can't we at least honor and respect them for the sake of our boys, our children, our daughters? We can't make that work, Kendra. We can't even do it for the sake of our boys, our daughters. We can't change these things. So we keep on with the trauma, with the victimhood. I call it traumahood. They call it sisterhood. I call it traumahood. Because
Mm-hmm.
it ain't nothing sisterhood about this sisterhood. It's trauma. All.
Right.
And so what I try to tell them, that the sisterhood does not exist. It does not exist, because the sisterhood that they want to form up is the one that will coddle you and black girls rock and black girls magic. I said, no, not yet. Not yet. Cause we ain't cleaned up yet. We don't even want to take accountability. How we rocking some magic?
That sounds like wishful thinking to me. The magic is like a wand. We can just zap stuff that we want together without doing no work. I think that's why they like that black girl magic saying so much. But what I'm gonna do with Miss Chana is I'm gonna let Miss Bella come up. We're gonna
Yes,
sit with
ma'am.
her for a little while. But
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, sweetheart, for your time.
Absolutely. I love you and thank you. Keep doing the work, and we're gonna send you a gift, okay?
All right, sweetheart. You
All
have
right.
a good one.
Here. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lundy. I meant to click on Miss Bella. You'll be next. Hey, Miss Bella, how you doing, pretty girl?
Auntie. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine,
Okay.
sweetheart. How you feeling?
I'm doing fine. You know, I've got my babies you might hear in the background, so I'm not going to be quick. I'm going to be quick, but I'm good. I'm so happy to talk to you.
I'm happy to talk to you too, sweetheart. How have you been feeling and doing?
I've been feeling good, 9 weeks postpartum with baby number
Oh, you just
two.
had a little one.
Yes, ma'am. I've got my second little
Oh,
boy, so I'm a boy mom. All I see is
that's so
men all
special.
day. Thank you.
Oh, that is
I'm a
so special. That is so special. And you just glowing. No wonder that's the glow going on.
That's that
Okay. So what you got for us today, Miss Bella?
Yes, ma'am. So I wanted to touch on how I got my man and, got him kept, keep him. And it leads to, which led to a healthy relationship. And for me, one of the key components outside of like femininity and all those things is self-correction. So like my husband, he would correct me. He would say, no, I want you to do this instead. And, whether or not I had attitude with it or with him, I always find myself wanting to get better. And so with self correction, it really helped me change my mindset and my heart to continue to press forward toward a healthy, lasting relationship. Because at the end of the day, I want to make him happy. I want, I want to help him, and I can't do those things unless I take his correction. And so I think, like I said self-correction for me has been a key component uh, to a lasting, healthy relationship.
I'm so glad to hear that because that's actually the truth of the matter. When we're able to take that corrective measure, because many times, I mean, we got husbands that love us. So they're not going to be too mean or too crass or too coarse when they tell us things, although we don't always like what they said or sometimes even how they said it. Can definitely rub us the wrong way. We human beings and we're emotional women, so therefore that can happen. But once we get past that point, there's the correction there and the choice of whether or not we're going to accept that or reject that. And once we accept that, once we know that he's coming from a place of love and he's coming from a place of wanting the relationship to continue to be positive and continue to be something that serves us both, then it makes it easier, in my opinion, to take that correction for what it actually is and not feel attacked by what he said or maybe how he said what he said, and not feel like he thinks we're some type of bad person just because he had a little something that he wanted us to tweak or something that he wanted us to do or stop doing, or even if he just brings to our attention a mindset that we're working with. And it may not be doing or not doing anything, but just kind of switch our thinking around or give us a different perspective to look at things. And if we take the time to kind of look at it from that perspective or whatever perspective he present, it kind of makes it easier. And usually I found that afterwards, looking back on it, it was like, yeah, this was actually the best way to deal with it. And this builds your trust in your husband's leadership, because we have to be actual leadership. So I want to, if you got more to say to us, I know you said you wanted to be quick.
Yes, it's breaking up a little bit. It's breaking up a little bit.
Is this cutting in and out for anybody else? Put a one in the chat if it's buffering for y'all. That's because YouTube is hating. But anyway, Miss
Hating,
Bella. Mhm.
yes, ma'am. And I wanted to add, that's why I think emotional intelligence is so important, because even say like when me and my husband are in an argument and I'm heated, he's heated, sometimes it gets really hard to hear the message that he's giving outside, outside of the emotions that's clouding, your mind. But that's why I think emotional intelligence is really important, so you can hear the message that he's giving you and the lesson outside of your emotions, because as we know, women are emotional. So that's why I think emotional intelligence as well is really important, in conjunction with self correction. So but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, and thank you so much for your time. I love you so much.
You welcome, sweetheart. And I love you too, sweetie. And you kiss that baby. Say hello to the mister for me. And you just keep being beautiful. And we'll talk again later, sweetheart.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Let's see. We're going to take Lundy away. If we have time, we'll take Brother Steele in the back. But these are going to be the last couple of callers that we take. Hello. I'm assuming this is sister, Miss Lundy.
Yes. Yes.
How
Can you hear
doing?
me?
Mm-hmm. Am I
Okay.
pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, Lundy Way.
Lundy Way. Okay. What you
Yes.
got
How
for
are
us today,
you?
Miss Lundy Way?
Yes. First off, I just want to say thank you for taking my call. I've been watching you from the beginning of this year, and I'm all for it. I'm addicted, basically. But yeah, I just wanted to come on because um I agree with women believe that keeping a man is shameful, because I'm 29, and I got married at 24. I've been with my husband since I was 23. And the moment that I got married, my mother told me, she told me I was too young to get married.
I hate
And
that.
yeah, and because I haven't lived my life. But see, I didn't respect what she said, because she's someone that hasn't been married. And me and my siblings, we have different fathers. So it I noticed that the advice that my mother tried to give me in the beginning was advice that would have kept me single. And so I immediately had to let her know that her advice wasn't advice that I would be accepting in my relationship, because I want to keep my husband. And so with the lack of guidance that I had growing up, my husband actually, almost like what Monique said about her husband, raised me. He's raising me. He's teaching me the things that my mother didn't teach me, and I'm just thankful for him, because he has the patience and the grace and the love to do those things for me. I didn't even know how to cut an onion. until I got with him, seriously. And so he taught me how to cook, and I'm in the kitchen more than he is, and I take that with pride. And so I really love what you're doing, because I feel that I didn't even realize that I was growing up in a situation where I went down the path that my mother took, I would be in the position that she is in.
I'm glad you didn't take that information, and I'm glad that you said what you just said, Miss Lundy Way, about the advice, quote unquote, that a lot of our mothers get. We get that so much. Like we get that so much growing up. Our mothers telling us information that did not serve them, certainly wasn't going to serve us. And my mother was married. She was married to our dad.
Okay.
And that was one of the most tumultuous, dysfunctional, violent relationships that I've ever had the misfortune of witnessing growing up. And then when I got married the first time, she was trying to tell me like what to do, like with my husband. And all of it was bad advice, mind you. And she told me the same thing because I got married young too. I was married at 20 and you too young. What you doing? I'm not too young because if I pop up with a baby, I'm not too young to do that. And I'm not too young to do what you trying to get me to do is go get on Section 8 and welfare, and just all of this foolishness that you want me to do, run the street and all that type of stuff. I'm not too young to do that, but I'm too young to have a man to care and love me. I'm too young for that. Like houseway. And so, these are the types of information and advices that we get growing up. We get it from our moms, from a source that you would think that you could trust. But if you don't step back as a young lady, like you did, like I did, like other young women have done, and say, well, wait a minute now. I know I love my mom, I know she's my mom, but what is her life like? And do I want her life? Do I really want her life? Do I want to live how she's living? And if I don't, then I can't really, really got to take what she say with a grain of salt, because she couldn't help herself. So she's not really going to help me. And another point that you made that I wanted to touch on, and I'm glad that you said, was about your husband raising you, because they really do, especially when you get married young. And your husband has a little bit more experience here or there, or he's a little older, or whatever the case may be. They do raise you in a way. They do. They teach you so much, and that's what a husband is supposed to do. And I think so many of us are ashamed as women to say that our husband taught us this and he showed us that, and but if he was unable to show us, or unable to teach us, or unable to lead us, then we wouldn't even be in a position to respect him in the first place. So that's one of the things that I want ladies to take away from what you said. That's how we get and keep the respect for our husbands, because they are in positions a lot of times to be superior in knowledge in certain areas. And that is not a knock on us or calling us stupid. It's just that a lot of times we didn't get certain rearing, certain teaching, especially in the wife department. And then we get a man that has that patience to instruct us really, and allow us to make a mistake if we're going to make it, but also put in the effort that we're putting in to be good wives. And they see that effort, that actually garners more love. And it, in my opinion, it deepens the connection emotionally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you came on here. You got something else for us? I ain't gonna rush you off too bad.
I just wanted to mention one of I think the biggest issue that my mother had with me being married, not one, because she never got married, but two, I actually married the first man I ever been in a relationship with. And but what my mom didn't know about me is that I was sweating at 18, because I wasn't married. When I was in high school, I was wondering why I never had a boyfriend. And when I got with my husband, he was just like, he said, I just by meeting you, I could tell that you were serious in high school. Even you were looking for a husband. And he said in high school, we ain't think about that. We think about, getting with the girls. And so he was saying that was one of the things that attracted him to me. He is older than I am, and he said that when he was ready to look for a wife, and he saw that in me, and also my youth attracted him. So yeah, it. I was panicking at 18 that I wasn't married.
Yeah, I think sometimes I don't think we really get that part, because when I was in high school, that was something I thought about. I wanted to be married. The last thing I wanted was to be in the street, because I just wasn't a street girl to begin
Me
with.
neither.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really want to be in the street. Well, who gonna come get me? And I like you, I wasn't, having a bunch of boyfriends in high school or none of that. It was a couple, one or two boys here and there that liked you or whatever, but it was nothing, never serious or anything like that. So when I was 17, 18, 19, I'm like, okay, Well, I want to get married.
Yes.
Listen, give me one man. All I need is one. Just give me one.
Hmm.
And let it
Yeah.
be right.
So when I got married at 24, my mom said I was too young. I was like, I'm behind schedule. What
Behind
you talking
schedule,
about?
girl. So what you talking about?
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
I'm late to the party. What you talking
Yeah.
about? Mm-mm.
Exactly. But I'm just thankful. I don't know what made me have a different mindset from my mom, but just growing up, I just watched her life and was really disappointed as a little girl. I can remember being 7 years old, disappointed in what I was seeing from my mom. And I don't know why I had that mindset, but my husband just said maybe something was in me to change that curse that was going down, for generations in my family. So I'm thankful for that, if it is so. But anyway, I love your show, and I'm so thankful for you, Kendra. I'm going to continue to watch and learn from your show. You always give me different perspectives, and I really appreciate it. So that's all I want to say.
You're
Thank you very
more
much.
than welcome. And I'm praying for you and your husband a long, prosperous, positive, loving marriage.
Thank you.
So you definitely, I'm rooting for you and you have my prayers. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. And this is the last one. I'm going to take Brother Steele. How are you doing, Dr. Steele?
I'm
How
doing
are
fine.
you?
I'm doing fine, ma'am. And you?
I'm doing pretty good. I am doing pretty good. What you got for us today, Doctor?
Well, from the title of your show, uh, is it shameful, for modern women to have men? And you know what? I think other women shame them for having men because they're jealous.
Mm,
They are. I mean, they are jealous. If they don't have a man, they're gonna make sure that um, others do not have a man either. That's the attitude of the sisterhood. Things are going bad for them. So what they want to do, they're gonna try to meet up, try to lure other women into the sisterhood because their lives are so bad, and they will make others' lives so bad as well. So it all comes down to jealousy.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. The sisterhood is a group of very jealous women. They are very bitter and they don't like to see other women specifically doing anything in any capacity that's quote unquote better than them. They don't like to see better. And I think that's one big reason why they continue to spread the bitterness and spread the negativity about specifically about relationships. Oh, you just trying to keep a man, you doing anything to keep a man. I don't know what's so wrong with maintaining a healthy relationship. And then they go way into left field where you're maintaining an abusive relationship or you're maintaining a negative relationship. And it's like, no, these are y'all relationships with y'all baby daddies. Don't try to project that off on those of us who have positive um interactions with our husbands and the children's the fathers of our children. Don't try to act like we're having a bad time. No, you're having a bad time, probably because your attitude. We got a different attitude, a different outlook. We don't despise the men that we are with, and so that allows us to have a good positive interaction with them. Like, I don't have a running contempt for my husband. Like, I love him. So therefore, it makes it easier for me to act like I love them because I actually do. And I don't tell people otherwise. I don't get in front of nobody and try to act like that's not the case. So I definitely agree with you about the jealousy aspect.
Yeah. Well, I want to say a couple of things. Then I'm going to go. Uh, First, for all the women that you and the other Black women content creators I listen to reach out to other women, that's another possibility for us as men, because they're not they're not that many good Black women. Not that I'm trying to say is not that many good Black women out here. So I want to thank you for reaching out to them so that we could get more possibilities.
I am thankful to you all because you, as well as so many others, have been supporting me for a long time. And I want to show my appreciation and my gratitude as well for my audience, for my subscribers, for the people that tune in and that turn other people on to me. Because I know that a lot of the brothers that come here have women in their lives, with be it they sisters or friends or whomever the other women may be in their lives, and they do, for good or ill, tune them in to me, even so far as purchasing the book and giving it out to the ladies and things of that nature. So I appreciate you guys as well, because you all make my reach out possible. You make it happen for me. You reach people I can't reach or don't know how to reach. So I appreciate you all, you specifically, and the rest of my subscribers. I appreciate you all more than I can actually express. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I thank you.
And thank you. And it's been an honor for me to finally get to call in to you.
No
Thank you.
problem. All right. All right. So that's going to conclude the call in show. Let me get to these super chats and then we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, Damien, for your super sticker. MAGA Maniac, thank you for yours. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina, for your contribution. Thank you, Ro, once again, saying all my 30 years of living, I think I finally figured it out. The women need the Crimson Cure if they not right. Big ups. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Pharaoh. So you have room for another mail. I'm going to wrap it up today, but next Friday, every Friday, we're going to do this. By the grace of God, we're going to do this and we're going to do it well. So thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Frederick. I love to see this spirit in our melanated sisters. I do too. The sisters really put a smile on my face today. Thank you, Miss Chrissy. Said wonderful hyena free conversations on this Friday night. I love this for us. I do too. Thank you so much, Miss Chrissy. And thank you, HVAC. Said Lundy way, keep your husband. That was terrible advice your mom gave you. I'm fuming right now. Congrats to you on your marriage. And thank you so much for that contribution, HVAC. And thank everybody for their time and for coming through, stopping through, and letting this call in show be a success. I am eternally grateful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys to jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.